Okay, go for a take. Take one.
Can we go for that again without me hitting the table?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to another episode of Going for a Take. And in today's episode, we're with myself,
Matt.
Ollie.
and we're joined with the one and only
Hattie Dynevor. Fantastic. Hiya, Hattie. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
You just come from London, haven't you? So
I have.
I imagine a bit tired.
Yeah.
What
I
were
am a
you
bit
doing in London?
tired.
Can you say?
Actually, like nothing. I just saw my friends. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Super sweet.
All my friends live in London.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I went to see them.
Gorgeous.
It's really
Bit of
nice.
time.
Yeah.
We'll kick
Did
off.
you? Sorry to interrupt.
sorry.
Did you get a £500 van down to London though?
No. I
Okay,
didn't.
just wondering.
No.
Just on the off
Not
chance.
this time.
More about that later on.
Okay. Oh, I know what that's about. Okay. Right,
What?
we'll kick off just with the question that we ask every guest, okay?
Oh, okay.
What is a film that sort of made you want to be an actor, that's inspired you coming into this world? Something that made this world sort of twig in your head of like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Well, I think I watched Hunger Games when I was really younger.
Mm-hmm.
When I was really young, and really wanted to play Katniss Everdeen. I thought she was like the coolest character and like so badass. So I think that really made me want to get into acting, and that's like definitely my dream role that I'd want to play. But my favourite film is Bridesmaids.
Oh, got two to jump over.
I've never
So
actually
wait,
seen
quick question.
Bridesmaids.
Do you know any archery? Have you got any archery skills?
No.
Okay.
I reckon you're one
No.
of those people that if you shot a bow, it would just get a bullseye and you'd be like,
Bullseye
how did
straight
you
away.
even hit that?
Just naturally gifted at
Yeah,
everything.
Just like,
Like, Katniss Everdeen, is
Yeah.
that you?
what is it? This? No, that's Star Trek.
the wrong
Isn't it? Or is it just the
It's
three?
like Scout's Honour.
Can we just do a quick casting session for Katniss Everdeen?
Evergreen.
It's a supermarket.
Somebody's not read the books.
Do you know what it is?
I did, but like
Okay.
ages ago.
It's like the costumes. It's like the fight scenes. Like our fight scene was the closest I got to being Katniss Everdeen.
Was this in the caravan?
No, it was at the school. At
Oh,
the,
right, yeah.
the last
The last
time,
episode,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, episode 8,
Yeah.
which wasn't really intense to film, particularly like that day. I don't know about you, but we were like in our own little worlds, right?
Yeah.
Basically, what they were doing was so we had this sick black producer come on, Laurie Kirkham, and she spoke to, was it Artist Health Service? I can't remember the exact name of it.
Oh, an artist wellbeing coach. Yeah.
And they said when they've got particularly difficult scenes, it can be helpful for the rest of the crew to give them a bit more space and say only if, Hattie and Matt want to instigate a conversation, then start a conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, how was...
We didn't talk all day.
No, we were just both of us in our own little corner, just rocking back and forth, maybe crying.
Crying.
And soothing my bruised knuckle from punching the door instead of the actual sugar glass. But, I mean, how was that experience for you on that day?
So like going into it, I was really excited and I was really looking forward to doing the fight scene. But then when I watched them do it, they like showed, the stunt double showed us like what we would be doing. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be way more intense than I thought it would be. Do you know what I mean? Like the acting and doing the, what's it called?
The physical side
The
of it.
stunt
Yeah.
at the same time was so hard. And we filmed that like all day. It took all day. And it was really hard. And yeah, we didn't really speak to anyone. And then they like called lunch, and then we were all out. Me and Matt were just there, like crying our eyes out, like eating
bless
lunch,
you.
like alone. And we were like, because it was so hard to just like flip back to being like happy, and then go back to being like in that like deep emotional thing. So yeah, I just stayed in it all day. I didn't.
How did you flip it? Like, obviously, it sounds hard to do, but how did you actually get it? Because when we watch it on screen, it's incredible. So how did you manage to do that?
The
Like
fight.
flipping it, like getting into the mindset in order to produce that scene, basically.
I feel like it wasn't like I needed to get into that mindset because I'd been on that journey with Libby, like from the start. So by the time we're at the end, we kind of filmed it in order as well. So we kind of went from, the start was really loving relationship, and then like towards the end, it was awful. And like I just followed Libby along. I was in that relationship with her.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. And then after that, how do you de-stress from something like that?
Oh, it was really hard, wasn't it? like watching TV, watching funny films. But it did take a while to fully get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was that something that you learned as you played Libby? Because you played since series 13, right?
Yeah.
So the other emotional, like more intense scenes that you had in previous seasons, had you already started to learn different tools to help yourself? Like, no, okay, I can drive home, I can do my Pilates, or have
my
a nice chamomile tea,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, did you sort of garner these different tools, or get advice from like your family, for instance? Or?
Yeah. Well, the production gave us an artist well-being coach who like really helped me like decipher the difference between what Libby's world was and what Hattie's world was, and not to like blend them in and not talk about the worlds as my own experience, rather it's Libby's experience.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I wish I had that. I didn't get that on my
I
team.
think that's crazy, dude,
That is
because you went to some
crazy.
real dark places.
Yeah, it was
How
a
did you
journey.
find
So
it?
I know what you're talking about when it's like complete and utter exhaustion.
Yeah.
And like just sat by yourself and not wanting to talk to anybody. I completely
Yeah.
relate to that and empathise with you. But good that you had that wellbeing coach, because that sounds like a very useful tool. But like, so obviously we've touched a little bit on the story, just for anybody who maybe hasn't seen the series. In the latest season of Waterloo, it sort of follows your relationship. And as you say, it starts off relatively normal. It's a happy, loving relationship, but it begins to escalate. Jared starts to exhibit some slightly toxic behaviour, very toxic behaviour, mostly focusing around sort of coercive control and that kind of thing. Why do you think Waterloo sort of decided to tell this story? Now, this is kind of for both of you, but Hattie, will come to you first. Why do you think they decided to tell the story now, and why do you think in today's world it's important to have on a show like Waterloo Road on BBC One primetime telly?
Yeah.
Also, just throw in spoiler warning. Talk freely. Talk about every
Oh,
little
yeah.
detail. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, when I got told that we were doing this storyline, I was like, this doesn't happen to teenagers. Like, this happens to people that are married or older relationships. I was like, but okay. And then doing all the research, like finding out how many teenagers this affects, and like the stats were like so shocking for me. I thought I knew everything and had to know about it, but then like actually getting in the research was crazy. And I think Waterloo Road did such a good job of portraying the storyline as best as it could and as realistic as it could. Like, they didn't rush any part of it. It was over 2 series, really.
Yeah, it was introduced in 14, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was a slow burn. So when they first meet, they meet in series 14, and then Libby's like really happy and having the best time, and then it's a really slow process between the start and then the end, that physical violence. And it definitely made me realise that it was happening to a lot of teenagers, and that it's an important subject to raise awareness to.
You've done a documentary as well, haven't you? Which should be out by the time that this episode goes out, so we should be able to talk about it freely.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. It goes out in a couple of weeks, this episode, so we should be completely
When's
fine.
the documentary out?
Hopefully this coming week.
Okay.
Lindsay mentioned Monday.
Cool.
So first week of April, if you're watching this after that, then the
Yeah,
documentary should be out there and you should be able to watch it. But yeah, you got the opportunity to actually talk to teenagers in schools.
Yeah.
How was that? Did you find any interesting stories, or how did it resonate with teens? Because you were obviously showing off the story to them and like, sort of going direct to the source, as it were.
Yeah. Well, we went in with the charity Let Me Know to the Manchester College, and Ryan, who spoke, was amazing. He was so like really related to everyone, and spoke like in really basic terms to really help people understand what domestic abuse was and like really highlight the issues. And Let Me Know charity like campaigned for it to be a subject in schools.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Which which was really important. I obviously think the same. And we went in with Ryan and he did a workshop with all the students there. And we just watched. We really wanted to get involved, but we didn't. We just
we did like one little drama game.
We tried to.
What did the workshop entail? What kind of things were you doing?
So it was like he had a presentation to like spot the signs of domestic abuse.
Okay,
because
cool.
that's the charity like have the 10 signs and they want to teach them in schools and make it a subject so that when you are faced with something like in life that you have the knowledge and education to like, you know, see the signs and like spot the red flags earlier rather than later. And then we did like drama games with them and it was a really nice morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mentioned this in the other episode that we shot as well, but listening to everybody's reactions to it as well, in terms of, you know, lived experience or to some varying degrees. Me and you were like, it was a nerve-wracking experience because it was like the first time that that we'd ever seen. I mean, what they did was they made like a collage of it, like a montage of, I think, pretty much every kind of slightly violent to very violent, and it was like 25 minutes straight through. Me and Hattie were just sat at the back, just like with our cup of tea, probably our chamomile peppermint, just trying to like, oh, okay, I hope they like it.
First time
maybe not
people
like
see
it's a bad word. I hope
we're like
they,
watching everyone's faces like
yeah. And they were getting super involved and super riled, obviously, based upon like Jared's actions and being like, or like shouting at the screen. And it was, I think I turned to you and just went, I guess we did it right. And which was the biggest thing was just like, you don't want to tell a story like this without, you know, telling it responsibly and realistically and right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a really important tool to educate. Because, I mean, you mentioned 10 signs. I don't think even I know 10 signs.
yeah.
I can think of a fair few, but do you remember what they are?
I don't remember them off by heart.
Gosh,
Okay.
you said it and I
I'm
was
re-
like,
I am
my
putting you on
memory's
the
bad.
spot,
I've
so,
forgotten
like,
a lot of this.
I've forgotten.
Don't worry. Can you name just a few? Just sort of
Love
Gaslighting.
bombing,
love bomb. Yeah.
Love bombing.
gaslight, manipulation.
I don't know if these were the ones they used on the day, but like for Jared, minimizing, justifying their actions, victim blaming. Yeah, I mean there'll be more. We could always put like some links on the description as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
To these particular.
We'll put a link to
signs to look out
the
for.
Let Me Know website in the description below this episode.
One of the
Definitely.
things as well, when I was watching the season, was after it had sort of, the relationship had ended and Matt's character Jared had sort of tried to like manipulate his way back in, and I saw there was in your eyes, there was almost like a glimmer of hope, like this could work, and then you're going like, oh, actually we've been here before, this isn't going to work. And I think that's important in society as well, because you sort of hope the best out of people, and sometimes when you have a relationship that you're attached to, sometimes letting it go is one of the hardest things you can do, even when there's so much pain involved in it. So seeing that then brought into the series as well, even though it was just a tiny moment, I thought it was a very nice detail and a very important detail to have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm still thinking back to like that. I feel like, I don't know if this was true for you as well, that on the day where we did that, you know, really intense scene in episode 8.
In the school.
Yeah. I can't remember chronologically exactly where they planned it out, because when they do, obviously you know this as well, when they do the blocks, it'll be episode 7 and 8 filmed together, or, you know, 5 and 6 filmed together. Is that right?
Yeah. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Yeah.
So they can be out of sync chronologically with what they shoot. But I don't know. I guess reflecting on it, maybe I had like a bit of a guard up, just because of like what we were shooting. Maybe just like to protect myself too. And then we saw the stunt work for that, and obviously both of us just were like, you know. I felt like we connected a lot more, and then obviously we went for it on the day, and I was like, I mean, Laurie was like, you guys were in flow state, you just like switched and were there, and it was there was so much trust and so much safety, or it felt like anyway. Did you feel like that too? Like that switch? There was a real moment where it was like, okay, cool, we got each other.
Yeah, I think like it was so hard to film, obviously, but that day from like the first major physical thing that happened in their relationship, when I watched it play out as Libby and Jared, watching it, I burst into tears. I was so upset. I was like, I can't believe that we're about to do this, and like this is happening, and this happens to people in real life. It really hit me. And then for me and you, we were like, this is really hard. Like this is a really hard.
It's so taxing on the body because your body doesn't know that it's fake.
Yeah.
So like, no matter how many times you tell yourself, oh, it's not real. You know, Matt is a lovely person, Jared is not, but your bodies don't know physically the difference, and it is exhausting.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The body doesn't know the difference. It's like, it got to the point I was putting on Jared's uniform and I was shaking. It was really strange. And it was a particularly challenging day, wasn't it? It looks sick.
Yeah.
Was there ever a note from a director that sort of helped you get through these days, or a note from anybody, a producer, a wellness coach? Is there a particular thing that really helped you sort of recenter or just kept you going? Because I know it can be hard to, you know, keep motivating yourself because you're putting yourself through it.
Yeah. I think a few things, like really separating me from Libby really helped, and remembering how many people have been through this in real life and how serious this is, and how much we wanted to do the storyline justice. And now, like, to watch that back is so rewarding, and I feel really proud of what we created, even though it was really hard to film.
Was there a specific thing that you did to separate you and Libby?
Talk about her and me really differently, just not experiencing it through how I found it, just really pushed away that she was a character and I'm me. And,
cool. So like,
and remembering
saying,
that
like,
difference.
Rather than like, I punched the door, it was Jared punched the door.
Jared punched the door.
Whatever that is for you. Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you got the storyline, before you'd put pen to paper, how did you put pen to paper? Like, what was your, I don't want to say process of getting the character out?
Say it, man. I know. You literally got a necklace saying like, trust the process.
But I lost that in Thailand.
No.
I lost it.
What is that?
It was a necklace that I had.
Did it say trust the process?
But I'd never wear it again. It was a one-time thing. And
I like the necklace, Ben.
At least someone did.
Someone in Thailand has a really nice necklace.
Yeah, innit? They're probably flexing at me like, look what I've got.
Was it in Pai?
No, it was in where was it? Shanghai?
Bangkok?
No, Chiang Mai.
Mai.
I was like, I was gutted, and I knew I'd lost it.
Maybe if they're watching the podcast, they'll be like, "That's who I got it from."
Yeah.
Give it back, guys.
Anyway, sorry.
But anyway.
Process.
So when you got the script and you were like, okay, how do I tackle this? Obviously, you had help from people, but what were your initial thoughts on how you were going to approach this?
My initial thoughts were, I thought I knew everything about it, and then when I researched it, I was like, wow, there's so much I don't know, like so many layers that go into the subject and like domestic abuse, and it's not just arguing with your boyfriend, it's so much deeper, and it's such a slow process, and most of the time like the victims don't even know it's happening to them until it's too late, or they're in too much of a dangerous situation to get out of the situation. And then before every block, we'd meet with the director and producer just to really talk about where both of the characters were at, and, you know, if Libby sees red flags, or if she's at a stage where she's like just still like madly in love with him, or if, you know, she's starting to like feel a bit like scared of him, and like where we were at. And that really helped me, just sitting down with you and the producer and the director and just figuring out where our characters were at.
Where for you did Libby first clock it that it was, you know, becoming too much? Or was there so where was it like, yes, this is definitely wrong, and when was it, I feel like something could be wrong?
I think the switch was when Jared jumped in front of the car that day, and like
You have that gorgeous shot as you're hugging me and
I
hugging
love
Jared.
that moment.
I need to work on that separation because it's tricky. It's really tricky because it's what your body's doing. It's what your mind's thinking.
Which bit are you talking about?
Jumped in front of the car. I'm like, Jared's like, I'm not gonna let them take you away from me.
Oh yeah.
I think they just showed it on YouTube. That's why I remember it. And then you have this gorgeous shot as you're looking over my shoulder, and you kind of see it like being confirmed in your head.
Yeah, I think that was like the first time she realizes like this is not a normal relationship. And like she needs to do something about it.
It's really interesting to watch the character sort of mature, and I'm sure that you guys feel like you guys matured as actors as well, sort of filming the season. I know that I did during my season, and I feel like it sort of extends to you guys because you can sort of watch the characters really go on a journey, go on an arc, and it feels like you guys learned a lot of lessons on that set, which has been really good to hear about. And we'll dive into some more lessons after this break.
Right, part 2, we're into some changes in terms of the crew. Ollie's been relegated to the naughty corner, and Hattie has been promoted to host.
Thank you so much.
It's
a pleasure to have you here.
So today we have Carla here with us.
Hello.
Hi,
Nice
Carla.
to be here.
How you doing?
Carla is our DOP,
Yes.
and also worked with us on Waterloo.
Yeah, I was your camera trainee for 6 months.
How
So
was that?
when did you start?
I want to say about beginning of April last year, maybe end of March. I can't remember.
What was that? What episodes was that?
Episode 7 and 8, that block.
Yeah.
That block.
Intense block.
Yeah.
How did you find it
Where-
watching our scenes?
It was weird because like you're there the whole day and you see everyone, you see everything.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'm not in the room during the take, but when I am, it's like it feels real. But then as soon as they call cut, everything's back to normal, and they're like,
Yeah.
"That's it, you're done."
Even when they shouted cut, were there any moments where it was like an emotionally intense thing that happened, and like what was the experience like from a crew point of view, in terms of watching the story unfold?
I think for everyone else, because they've been on set for so long, it was just normal to
It
them.
was just like,
But because this
classic.
is my first job, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Because I'd never worked with actors before or anything. And so it was like sort of weird to see the rest of the crew get so used to it. And they're like, they've seen it before and they can just get on to the next shot and everything, whilst I'm just there like, did you just see that?
Do you reckon there's like an element of being like desensitized to what they're seeing, like the violence of it, or is it just like being able to park it and go, well, it's not real? Like it's more like a practical.
I think they've got like the separation in their brains maybe from working for so long to know that it's not real.
With
And
you.
yeah.
Was there like a highlight of those blocks or a big lesson that you learned from them? Sorry, 2 big questions.
Oh my god. I think just remembering that it's not real and trying to just be like, yeah, this is just a job and it's not, we're just making TV and it's not real.
Having those
Yeah.
healthy boundaries, like Hattie was saying at the start.
Yeah, because I think if I think too much into it, especially with your storyline, then I might just spiral and be like, oh my god,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Uh-huh.
And I think as well
Yeah.
in our industry, we need those boundaries, because if we don't have those boundaries, we can put ourselves into mental states which are not necessarily healthy for us as people. But yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of a thing that like no one really tells you when you get into the industry.
It's something you learn when you're on the job.
Yeah, especially as crew, because you're behind the camera
Mm-hmm.
and you're just mainly there for like equipment and setting everything up. But no one really talks about what's on camera,
Huh. Okay.
I think.
That's interesting. I always find it fascinating from the other point of view of the industry of not being in front of the camera. It's crazy because there's so much detail that goes into it, and you just, you get to your spot and you get ready to and do what you got to do. And there's been so much preparation to get it into that moment, like that we don't see as artists.
Yeah, you choose like a different kind of shot, and it changes the telling of our story completely. Like, you use a close-up or whatever, then or like you use, you choose different points. Like, I guess that comes down to more like the editing side of things. But you guys are the ones that make the choice in terms of how the story's being told. We're just there, and then you guys capture it, which actually gives you more responsibility. So have fun with that.
I mean, it's not me personally.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
One day.
On the podcast, you're now the DOP, so no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Right, should we swippity swappity?
This was your first job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
First job ever. Have you auditioned for things before this, or is this?
I auditioned for Series 11.
Oh right,
Which
so did
character?
I.
Did you?
Did we all?
Yeah,
I think all of us did. Yeah.
Oh wait, I did.
Who did you
I
guys
auditioned
go
for
for?
Kai.
Did you?
I went for
Preston.
no, I wanted to audition for Preston, but I got a audition for it's Adam. Is it Adam Abu?
Kai.
His character, not Adam Ali's character.
Danny.
Danny, that's the one.
Danny.
Yeah. I auditioned Danny.
for Preston.
Wait, so did we each individually audition for a
different
different character that we never
character,
got?
yeah.
So
Wow.
wait, which was your character? Sorry.
Tonya. I auditioned for Tonya.
Did you?
Tanya.
That was such
Wow.
a different show.
Oh,
I
really?
know.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the process like for that? Was it, record or tape initially? Like, what was it?
I got a tape from home, did the tape from home, did a self-tape, and then went in and did an audition with Michelle for Tonya, and then I didn't get that role, and then like 6-7 months later I got another audition for Libby, and I was like, this character sounds like a bit of me.
Sick.
Ah, brilliant.
Obviously made a good impression.
Which part of Libby resonated with you?
I just love that she's like so strong, and like she literally started like so like she was pushing the deep end, like going to the new school, and she's very like beats, what's the saying, beats
Meets it head on? I don't know.
beats the drum. She
Beats the drum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're making things up now.
Can we get a fact check?
I'm sorry.
Beats the drum. Yeah.
You described her as a bit like Marmite at first, which
Yeah.
I definitely get in her first season.
Yeah.
It's like you are either gonna love her or you hate her, because she's a bit polarizing and
Yeah.
she's a bit.
She could either be your best friend or your worst enemy. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no in between.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
Mean
you did
Girls.
throw yourself down the stairs.
Yeah.
But
But like she's really loyal. That's what I love about her.
yeah,
She's
she
very
is.
loyal, and well, yeah, she knows what she wants, and she'll go to any lengths to get it.
Did you use that as like an anchor to get into the character?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because I feel like series 13 Libby and then series
15.
15 Libby are so different, like really different people.
Yeah.
I feel like she's really matured since
I think that as well.
Yeah.
since she first came in.
Yeah, definitely.
What was the process like adapting to? Sorry, Ben. Process. I keep coming back to it.
I don't know what that word is. Oh,
Process
no.
like.
That's so bad.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah. What was the process like adapting to two different script writers for each episode and sort of seeing their different take on Libby, and then also adapting to, okay, well, you start off manipulative, and then you become the one who is manipulated.
Yeah. Well, I think when Libby first started, she just wanted to be with her dad, and she wanted to get her dad away from Coral. And she didn't see it as manipulative. She saw it as, this is her dad. Coral should not be living with the dad and like separating Amy from Neil. And she just wanted her dad to be her attention only and to have all the attention on her. So she didn't see that as manipulative. She just saw it as like, this is how it should be. And then I think she kind of realized, she can't get away with that. Like she can't throw herself down the stairs and expect people to believe her when she's like just lying and manipulating her way through life. So I think she quite quickly realized that she couldn't carry on like that, and then she just wanted to see her dad happy. So that's why she just let her and him and Coral be happy together. And now she's just a lot more mature, and when she meets Jared, I think it's the first time we see her actually happy, which is kind of weird to say, but in series 14 there, she's really happy.
Yeah, they're dead cute in 14.
Yeah, they've got a great relationship. Starts off really positive.
To begin with, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know going into season, like just before going into season 15, when you guys first met, that it was going to get like that?
Yeah, I knew it was a toxic relationship, but I didn't know the extent it would get to. I didn't know it was going to be like a domestic abuse storyline.
Going back to your just audition tapes, I imagine your audition tapes to be fucking phenomenal.
Really?
Just because you come from a family of actors, right? You got Phoebe, your sister, and also your mum.
Yeah.
Sort of growing up with them in your household and sort of growing up in that environment of, you know, your mum already had an established career and your sister was also on Waterloo Road early on.
Yeah.
Mad.
Was there any part of sort of their lives that you sort of looked at and said, yeah, this is what I want to do? Like, were they inspirations for you as well? Or have you sort of come to this career on your own? Like, how much of an influence have they had on you to come to this industry?
I think they've had a huge influence on me. I used to go to my mum's work all the time growing up, and I used to love it and watch what she did and see her world. So I think that obviously inspired me to want to go into that industry. And I would test her on her lines and do all that. And
your director would be like, that was bad. You best.
Again, mum, again.
Yeah.
So
can you like up the stakes? And you're like 5 years old, like.
So that was like my first experience of acting, was running lines with my mum.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And I loved that, and it was just really fun. And now she's running my lines with me.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant. That's full circle. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, and is there any sort of, I don't want to use the word pressure, but sort of, do you feel the need to sort of carve your own path in the industry, or are you sort of, you know, obviously you keep the same last name as well, and it would be a lie to say that people don't know the last name.
Yeah.
So is there a need to sort of be like, yeah, I am my own actor, I have my own career, I am a separate person from them? Or are you like a one big happy family almost? Not to say that you're not happy, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm in no way trying to get like an inside scoop here. It's just a genuine question. I'm interested.
Well, me, my mum and my sister are really close anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like naturally people scoop us into the same category. And then I say I've got a brother, and people are like, you've got a brother?
I don't think I realised that until, I don't know.
I didn't even know that. Mad.
Yeah, I got a brother. But yeah, I think naturally we're all going to go down our different paths anyway. I think that'll just happen normally. But yeah, we do everything together, so it is hard to like...
Yeah, you go on holidays all the time with them, don't you? Like, I see your Instagram every now and then. I'm like, she's in a different country again. What's she doing? Yeah. It's amazing. No, that's really sweet. That's lovely.
What sort of path do you like see yourself going down in terms of career? Is there any particular, like, would you like to do some more theatre now that you've done TV for such a long time?
Yeah, definitely. I've never done theatre.
Never?
Never.
What about in like a drama class or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'd love to do a play or something.
There's nothing like the stage.
Yeah.
It's mesmerising.
That's something I really want to experience.
I seem to remember you telling me about how maybe when you were in, like, I'm not throwing shade to like one of your drama teachers or whatever, but I seem to remember you saying about how they like just didn't like give you any sort of freedom to actually act, or they just kind of push you to this. I can't remember exactly what you were saying.
I hated drama in school. I hated it.
Interesting.
Like,
okay.
My teacher was just so like by the book, and she wanted something done a certain way, and it was just, there was no creativity in drama at school. It was all what she says goes, and there was no freedom. So I just hated it. I didn't want to. Yeah. I didn't want to do it.
I mean, you meet some directors like that as well, and it's really hard to work with them. And it's just like, it's not fun. But
I feel like drama in high school, it's weird because there's like a tick list of things they have to cover, and it's like, I remember we did Brechtian theatre, and I was like, we were doing it, and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure this is a Brechtian theatre. Like, I'm not too sure about that. And then I read a book on Brecht, and I was like, yeah, that definitely was a Brechtian theatre. I was like,
the Frumdes effect.
The alienation.
That's all I remember from Brecht.
It means like something like the alienation effect or something like that. Yeah. That's how I remember it. I don't even know how I remember that.
Just whilst we wrap things up a little bit as we come to the end, move away from acting a little bit. In the future, is there anything that you want to sort of dive into that isn't to do with acting. So like, I know you're into fashion. You wear some very nice clothes. And, like you're collaborating. That's such a weird way to phrase it. I'm so sorry. That's so weird.
You wear some. It's
no, but like you're constantly. You're always collaborating with like fashion designers and photographers and things like that.
He never says that to me.
Is that an avenue that you want to go down, kind of thing? That's what my question is.
Yeah.
To be fair, you walked in and everyone was like, "Where'd you get your cardigan from? It's so nice."
Yeah.
It's a man's cardigan.
It's very gorgeous.
It's nice.
You make it work.
Yeah, like wait, I can't. You wear some really nice clothes.
Yeah, sorry. Do you want me to start again? I'll ask the question again.
No. It's perfect. This keeps going perfect.
Yeah, I love fashion, and that is something that I'd love to get into. I do modelling on the side of acting, but I think acting is something that is always like first.
That's your main passion. Yeah.
Just like fashion and that world is just something that I enjoy as a hobby and that I like doing on the side.
Can't wait to see your own fashion line eventually.
Didn't you go to the Louis Vuitton fashion show recently?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was so
Brilliant.
cool.
Where was that?
In Paris.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paris fashion.
It looks
Did you go?
incredible.
It was amazing. My sister.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
We went to Paris for like 3 nights.
Wow.
Ate loads of food, had like hot chocolates, went to the fashion show. It was amazing. It was really fun.
Oh,
What did you do last Friday or whatever it was?
I went to bed. Dude.
Do you know what?
I was tired
worked in a
after work.
cafe.
Like,
I actually had a hot chocolate as well, believe it or not.
did?
But mine was
Oh my God, your lives
It
are
might
so
not have been a
similar.
Louis Vuitton hot chocolate, but it was pretty darn
Trust
good.
the process.
If only I still had the necklace.
We should go to Paris. A Going for a Date goes to Paris.
Going for a baguette.
Going for a
Yeah.
baguette.
Going for bread. Do you remember when that was a
Oh
thing?
God, yeah.
That's top secret information.
Top secret.
yeah.
Let's not talk about that one.
We talked about your Pilates briefly. We talked about your Pilates briefly. Right. We touched on Pilates briefly.
I think we should keep rolling. I think this is gold.
Right.
You're making me sound really boring.
No, I've got a genuine question to ask about it, right? And it's actually, I've been thinking it for a while. Do you know in Northern Quarter how they've got all the Pilates studios? What the fuck are those machines?
They have machines in Pilates?
Yeah. You know those like... I don't know
Reformer Pilates.
A reformer.
What is that?
It's just
It's the best exercise you'll ever do. It's so good.
What is it?
What is it?
It's like a bed, and you do Pilates on the bed. Oh God. You do Pilates on this bed.
On a
It's
bed?
the best thing, yeah. No, on like a machine thing. If you guys are interested.
Because someone was trying to explain it to me and I was like, surely if I did that I'd like rip my groin or
It's
something.
Yeah,
really
keep
hard
going.
workout.
So it's a machine bed that
What
you do Pilates on.
So like it has like springs and it
Yeah.
has like really heavy springs and then really light springs. And say you'll put like the heavy one on and then like pull the machine and then like that's the
How
vibe
did
of
someone
Pilates.
come up with that? That's what I want to know.
Joseph Pilates came up with it.
Who's
Joseph
Pilates?
Hang on. So when did you get into it? Was it in order to train for like filming or anything? Like, because obviously actors have to be a certain level of physical fitness to
Why
be able to...
wouldn't you get into it? A machine bed Pilates?
Well, yeah,
That
but I'm
sounds
just
like
thinking
every
about
box.
timeline wise.
Guys,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
love to see you do it. It's so good.
I'm down.
Going for a Pilates session.
Yeah.
We could get a Blank Street blueberry matcha latte,
Yeah.
which
Is that what you
Hattie
go
has been
for?
promising me since episode 5 or whenever
I
we
said if
first
you do a
met.
So a year
TikTok
ago.
with me,
Huh?
I said if you do a TikTok with me,
I've done a TikTok.
We'll do a TikTok.
I'll get you a
after
blank
this.
street. So I need to get you a blank street because you did do a TikTok with me.
You see, people keep
Matt's
saying
happy.
to me about matcha, right? It just tastes like grass.
Not at Blank Street.
Does it not?
I mean, it's full of chemicals. It's like pure syrup, but it's really good.
So you
Pure
can't
syrup
actually
and
taste the
Pilates.
matcha.
No, it doesn't taste like matcha.
Why would you? Is it because it's green?
So it's
Yeah.
like blueberry grass.
Wow.
Feels healthy.
It feels healthy.
Yeah.
Health.
Tastes like caramel.
Yeah.
Feels healthy.
But yeah, sorry, you were asking about whether Hattie started Pilates
Yeah, like,
to get
so-
ready for something.
Obviously, you would have known from seeing your mum and your sister, like again, filming. You need to be a certain level of physical fitness just to be able to do the 15-hour days that we pull.
Yeah.
Is that when you got into Pilates, or like, is it something that you've just discovered has worked for you during the process, or?
I think it's like something that helps me like I know it's meant to be a workout, but wind down.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
a bit of
to
meditation.
do it on the weekend, and like nice stretching and stuff. It's like yoga.
lovely.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice mindfulness. It's nice to like do it in like my free time, and it's good. Yeah, I like it.
My mum does
See, it is,
Pilates.
it's like
Does
got
she?
that relaxing kind of grandpa energy to it.
No, it's pretty.
We discovered also on set that I have grandpa energy, and was proceeded to be mocked for like the rest
Severe grandpa energy.
Well,
though.
I don't think it's grandpa energy. I think it's like back in my day energy. That's what I think it's
of
like.
it. It's like what? Sorry.
Back in my day. You know.
Yorkshire man at the pub.
We didn't have any phones when we were
Back in my day.
kids.
That is literally what Matt does. Like, we'll be on set and he'll go, "Isn't the grass so green today?" I'm like, "What? Where have you pulled that
In my
conversation
defense,
from?"
the grass was extremely green that day.
Right.
Is grass
okay,
not
Matt.
meant to be green?
No, and like the sun was shining. We were
Yo,
filming.
Matt,
It
go
was
outside some more.
we were outside, and usually we film inside. So it was like a when you were at primary school, it's like a school trip. Bear in mind, which scene was that? Episode 7. That was when we were walking down
Yeah.
the road after the fish and chip shop.
Yeah.
And there
Great
were
day.
like rabbits playing in the field next to us. The sun was shining. I was like discovering a part of Manchester I'd never been to. There was cool graffiti. I was like, the world is so lovely. And then Hattie was like, you have such
Hey,
grandpa
Matt.
energy.
Were you high?
Do you know what I think you need?
I did wonder what was in that mushroom butty that I had.
Well, I think you need a blueberry matcha. That's what you need.
Maybe I had, yeah.
There's a
maybe.
place called Blank Street Coffee that does one. Have you heard of it?
If you fancy getting a sponsorship from Blank Street
my God,
Coffee,
that'd be
I will have a
fascinating.
blueberry matcha every single time we film.
And I'll do Pilates.
Yeah. We should all do Pilates.
That's a deal.
To wrap this up, Ollie, do you have one last serious question? Or are you out of serious
I'm
questions?
out of serious
I
questions.
feel like I've not been serious at all.
Good.
I've got a very serious
That's not good,
question.
people.
Oh, here we go, Ben.
Right, there's a lot of people that watch this show who are aspiring artists, actors, people behind the scenes, behind the camera. Do you have any advice for people who are maybe younger than you or people that want to get into the industry?
I would literally just say keep going. Like, keep going to the auditions, and there's so much rejection. Like, you could do 100 tapes and one of them it'll lead you somewhere. And I think with every tape you do, every audition you do, you're getting more experience, and yeah, just keep going. Keep pursuing it, don't give up.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
Lovely. what a lovely
It's
note to
just
end it on.
kinda
Method
cringe
to my
about it.
madness.
Gorgeous. It's been lovely having you on, dude.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's been a
guys.
pleasure.
It's
Thank
been a
you.
moment as well. It's nice to catch up.
I hope you enjoyed your first ever podcast.
Yeah.
This was your first
I did.
ever
That was
podcast,
it.
Wow.
and you were hosting it as well.
And I first ever podcast.
You've done everything now.
Wow.
Right.
I guess we're off to Pilates now, so tune in next week for our next episode.
For my extremely chiseled body with my Blank Street coffee. Right, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.